I love that intro.
Hey, I do
How
too.
are
It just
you?
makes me want to break something, though.
Yeah, of course, there's all that breaking going on because that's what Brooker
Right?
does to us every time with that Black
Yeah,
Mirror.
he
He's always
does.
breaking something in my brain. He breaks things in my brain. I'm telling you, he just
He
like the way I
does.
think about something. Yeah, he
Right?
definitely
Or
makes me
just when
think
I think I've
outside
got
it.
it figured out, then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, let's turn this way.
It
So
is, right? He's like always throwing me for a loop, but I like that about him. That's why he's a fascinating
I
man.
do
And I love
too.
fascinating men that are creative like that. I
Yes,
absolutely do. Oh,
that can
but this
keep
was
me
some episode.
stimulated.
Yeah,
This
well,
was an
all right, wrong
episode.
show. Don't start. Wrong show. That's
I
Friday.
know.
Okay. All
That's
right.
Friday.
Let's keep it straight. I'm developing this thing. I have to keep reminding people that's the Friday show. I do varied
Yes.
content. We have to keep everything a little separate, just a little bit.
Yes.
And I don't
I'm
think
just
Charlie would
trying.
appreciate us doing
No,
that.
no, he wouldn't.
No, he
Charlie, I do
wouldn't.
have clothes on and fully dressed.
Yeah,
I, I'm
damn it, Kim.
Claire. Claire,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I'm trying to keep myself laughing as much as I can.
I know because we do have to be just a little bit serious about this one. This one is a tearjerker, okay, people.
It is.
Even, every review you read about it is like get your box of tissues because this
Yes.
one is a bit, and they go there. They go there with the heartbreak of it. They go there
Oh, they
with
do.
all of it. So
Yes.
it's a little rough. I hope you stay with us for those of you that saw it. And Krabby, thank you. Krabby watched the episode today.
Yes. Thank you,
Yay!
Krabby.
That's cool. We have
Yay.
somebody to talk to in there. Hello, Facty, Advin, Jingo, T King. Welcome, Pickle.
Yes.
And
Hello,
Varillion just
everyone.
popped in. Hey, nice to see everybody. So let's get down to
Yes.
like how these start. Do you want to start and then I'll take over, or what? You want to let's give them a
Yes.
breakdown
Yes.
of the plot at least of what's
Yes.
going on with this thing.
And I just want to say first, I let Claire pick this one.
Mm.
We were talking about it, and she was like, "Do you want to pick it? Shall I pick it?" I was like, "No, you go ahead and pick it." And she picked Be Right Back. And it just kind of gut twisted me because I had seen the episode, so I knew the plot line of it. And Claire knows my history, and I'm going to be very transparent and honest with all of you. I am a widow, and it'll be 9 years in August. They say time makes it better. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And I didn't know exactly what the episode was about when I picked it. Just to be clear,
Right.
like, I'm not trying to torture Kim. And as soon as I found out,
she's not.
I gave her a free pass. Though, let's pick something else. Let's go. Like,
she did, and
but
honestly,
she wanted to tackle it. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I thought, well, do it now or later. Let's just go ahead and do it now. But I do have to say thank you to Claire very much because she has been very gracious. She has given me an out, and I said, no, let's go ahead and go forward with it. So thank you so much, Claire.
Well, that's because you're so strong too. And it's like, I believe what you had said to me was, well, we're going to do the episode one way or another. We might as well just tackle that.
We might as well.
Because, like,
yeah.
At least try. At least, like, you watched it and you said, and if anything, if it was too much, then of course we just move on to something else. There's always another episode,
right.
to do.
And I have given...
I give you a lot of credit. I give you a lot of credit.
Thank you. And I've given Claire full permission if she feels like I'm falling apart. She's just going to take over for me. So, and
no,
yes,
she told
I'll
me to kick her off the stream or something. We'll vote or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean to make light of the emotion. I'm just trying to, like you said, we'll do it a little carnival style, which is your style, to get through it. And just in case anybody thinks I'm torturing her, I'm really not. Kim's like,
she's not.
She's like me. She's a little crazy about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like
I am. And Claire and I banter back and forth a lot. So
we do. And we use humor in everything. So thank you,
but
Advent.
I do. And I do have tissues right here, and you may hear some sniffling, and it's okay. I'm fine. It's okay. I'm in a good headspace.
You know what? We're all here for you, and everybody. This episode is that way. Thank you, that girl. I like my name. you could just call me Claire, but the channel's definitely going to be My View from now on. To hell with everything else. Yes,
I love
that's
it.
Yep. Humor does save everything, Jingo. If you don't have humor, and especially self-awareness humor, if you can't laugh at yourself, just keep it moving. This is a dull life for you.
You're
going to have
anything.
some trouble. And especially out here in YouTube, in the social medias, if you can't do that, you're going to have some serious troubles. So you're going to have some bad days. I'm telling you.
Yes.
But I know, Krabby, we're all going to cry together. We're going to have everybody sniffling for this one. So fair warning, people. Like fair warning.
Yeah.
This one's going to go there. I'm going to let you start then. Let's start with with the rundown at the beginning.
Yes. Okay. So Be Right Back was the first episode of the second season of Black Mirror. And it was written by the wonderful Charlie Brooker and directed by the amazing Owen Harris. And he is a brilliant director. Yes. And it first aired on the BBC network on the 11th of February, 2013. And this story actually talks about a young couple. And Charlie actually said he had two sources of inspiration. One was he had just lost a friend, and he was just a few months later going through his phone contacts, and that friend's name came up, and he had to decide whether to delete it or not. And so that kind of inspired it. Is, do you delete a loved one's number from your phone contacts? I still have my husband's. I still have my husband's number in my phone. I actually still have his last phone. I don't know if it'll power up, but I have it. And I still have his Facebook page is active still. So
and I can understand that, because I mean that was a deep, intimate relationship with your husband. It's your husband.
It was.
I mean, I wasn't my husband, but it was my stepbrother who passed away. And I kept his last texts and everything on my phone for years, until I started getting text messages from someone who got the phone number. And then I had to do something about it, So like I saved the messages somewhere else and I got rid of it, because we talked a lot at the end, was
right.
I know how that is. I can say, and everybody has their sentiment about it. We've all been there with something. I mean, even if, yes, it's hard if somebody passes away, because you don't ever have that contact again. But I think everyone, even if you have not lost a loved one, has been in the position where you want to save those last messages of some site.
I think
or
so.
some kind of ending. It's more about the endings than how the ending happened. It's more about the holding on to something that's not going to be anymore. And,
right.
And to try to hold on to that, And Kiki's, I'm going to pull it up here, but Kiki is giving you a message. She's very sorry for your loss. And you're going to hear that. And
Kiki.
Yeah. Thank you, Kiki.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And welcome to Jenny and Mrs. Cassandra that just came in also.
Yes.
Welcome, ladies. Now, so now we know, it's going to get sad. It's going to.
It is going to get sad.
Now they just moved into a new home, right? Like they just
and it was Ash's. It was Ash's childhood home, and we see the signs of that because he sees a picture of himself as a young boy that his mom had, and on one of the door frames there are the height marks like parents do every year to measure their child. There are those on one of the door frames with Ash's name on it. So we know that this is his childhood home.
Right. He grew up there.
Yes. The day after they moved in, Ash has to take their van back that they had rented to move things back to the rental company. And he's telling Martha, who's played by the wonderful Haley Atwell, that, he's taking this back. Yes?
No, go ahead.
Okay, he's taking the van back, and she says, "Well, I have to work. I just had a new project come in." So he's kind of, bantering with her. Okay, I'll do it all by myself, and
Mhm.
she goes about her work day, and we see him drive off. And we had already learned in the first few scenes that Ash is rather addicted to his phone. And she was always telling him, even if she was driving, put your phone in the glove box. Well, he has his phone out when he's pulling out. So there's kind of a clue right there that he's not putting it away. And he's late coming home. She calls the rental company, and he had not returned the van. She's hysterical on the phone with her sister. And all of a sudden, through the window, we can see flashing red and blue lights.
Right. And everybody gets that feeling, right?
Yes, we know what's going to happen. She opens the door. We see two officers standing there. And this, to me, was one of the most dramatic ever. Because there's no conversation. We just see her shut the door and walk away. And I'm telling you, in that moment, I felt everything she was feeling.
Right,
Everything.
because you remember that moment,
Yes. Yes. I knew that grief. I knew that sadness. I knew that numbness just washing over you, because I felt that as I had to leave the hospital. And it was just astounding. So she gets through that. They go to the wake. She's sitting down by a friend that she knew named Sarah. And Sarah's saying everything wrong. Everything Sarah said, don't say to anyone, please, because it's all wrong.
And Sarah has also lost someone the year before.
Yes.
It seems like the year before, or like not too much longer before.
Not too.
And she's trying to give her this been there, done that routine. And
yes.
It didn't go very
she's
well.
Like, she's like, I've got something that can help you. It helped me. And Martha does not want to hear it at all, and just basically melts down. Her sister Naomi comes and takes her away. And Martha, we see going about her daily business. And then we find out that Martha is expecting.
Yes.
Yes.
Martha thinks she's just not feeling well because she's breathing, but
which is normal.
More and more evident that it could be something else, and so she takes.
And she does take the pregnancy test. And around that same time, she's going through what?
That part got me, because now she's alone.
Yes.
And here they were moving in, they're starting their life together. They're moving into his childhood home. They moved out of the city into this beautiful countryside.
Oh, and
she's
it's so
an artist,
beautiful.
Working. They're going to work there together. They're quite happy together. Obviously, they're trying for a family, because she's now pregnant, and he's no longer there. And that had to be like, it's like it's a double-edged sword, a blessing.
It was.
And a curse.
I just couldn't imagine.
Because you're so happy, you still have a piece of them. He's there.
You do.
He's part of him. But at the same time, what you wanted together is impossible, because they're not with you. You're not going to
have that partner there sharing that with you. So she's going through some emails, and she's like emails, and then she sees one from Sarah, the lady from the wake, and she says, I signed you up. And it was a technology program that would allow Martha to stay in contact with him. And then she sees an email from Ash.
Right. And then she throws the laptop. Yeah, she throws the laptop.
She throws the laptop.
She gets a little upset.
She does.
She jumps away from it. She doesn't want anything to do with it. I just want to stop you right there for 1 minute for one of our Easter eggs, because it's appropriate to the pregnancy test, actually. I'm going to do them a little different. I'm going to do them as they come up.
The pregnancy test Easter eggs to you.
Yes, the pregnancy test was animated. It was like a cute little,
it went like a
little baby thing, like going back and forth. And I have to tell you that there was in the pregnancy test in another episode, that we did, the entire history of you.
Yes.
They also had a pregnancy test, and it was animated like that. The casing was slightly different, but the animation and everything was the same. So that's Easter egg number 1. There's only like 2 Easter eggs in this one.
Okay.
And we'll go and do the other one at the end. But that just because she commented, I thought that was a good one.
Yeah.
But no,
I'm basically conceding the Easter eggs to you.
Yeah.
Because
you're responsible for the emotional drama, and I will do the Easter eggs.
Okay, good. That sounds
my
great.
only job. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But
so Martha calls Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, pregnant. Martha's upset. She calls Sarah. How could you? This is obscene.
Mm-hmm.
She's just irate about the whole thing, about her setting her up.
She just saw her dead husband's name messaging her.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I think I would have freaked out a little bit. That's
I definitely would.
Yeah.
I definitely
not
would.
At all.
No. Yeah. And so she does finally open up the email, and it's just like, yes, it's me, Ash. And she basically tells him that she came on to tell him one thing, and that she was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And he says, oh, so I'll be a dad. And that's where I really had an issue, because no, you won't be. Your technology.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to parent.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to parent, but the technology is fascinating, though, right? It goes by everything you ever posted publicly on social media.
Yes. It took all of his social media, every post, every picture, everything in all of his social media to get how he would react to different things. And he mentioned that he wished he could be there with her. And she said something about, I wish I could talk to you. And he's like, oh, you can. And this is where I felt like it was almost like for an extra $1.99 a month, you can upgrade to this service. That's kind of how I felt like that was dealt with.
Like for an extra $1.99, I'll actually speak to you live, like on the phone. And then that technology changes again. Like Krabby said, this was the hook. This is what drew her in. Like I could hear your voice again. And I got to tell you, that would be it for me. Not the words.
That would be it for me.
Back and forth. If I could hear their voice in my ear again. Yeah.
That's the way I feel. If I could just hear his voice again, that's what I would want. Just to hear that voice.
I hear you, Kiki. She said if that happened to her in real life, she could not do it. No way. It was freaky seeing that name. That kind of like bugged me out the way that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did me too.
I understand that hook. Once she talked to them and saw the picture and he answered kind of like him and then said, we can speak. And she was like, what? Like, I think that light bulb would have went off with me. I would have been, well, let's just see what that's like. And then you have to what? I know. Then she downloaded all of their messages and every video and everything. All of their personal, everything that they had personal between them, all of it. She downloaded it all so that he could speak and be more intimate with her as far as their relationship. Because remember, prior to that, it was all social media, public social media. It was just social media. Not his private text messages. She then had to post his private phone messages. She had done everything too to get everything. And so, that could be a problem if they weren't a very open couple.
Exactly. It really could. And, so I can see both the good and the bad of it. But I'm kind of like, that's where it would have gotten me, because there is that longing to hear that voice, even just one more time. Just one more time.
Just the connection, the interaction that you're used to all the time, like telling them the little things and getting those little reactions back and forth about just the mundane stuff, let alone the big stuff. Like I'm pregnant, like I know. Yo, I'm pregnant. We're having a baby.
Like she would go for walks in the country and she'd be able to show him what she was seeing. and he's
Mm-hmm.
talking to her and enjoying the beauty with her.
And he has to keep reminding her, show me. And she's like, how? And
Show
she's like,
me.
open the camera. Because really,
Open the camera.
like, I'm up in the cloud. Like, you gotta send it to me, babe. You know?
Yeah,
like,
that's what he kept saying.
Here.
I'm in the cloud.
Yeah, I'm not here. I'm not here. Like, I'm just not here. You're talking to me like
I'm in the cloud.
I'm not here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
and
had
then
to
she
get
goes,
a little getting used to, you know? A little.
I would think so too. Yeah. Then she ends up going to a medical appointment for the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing the ultrasound and getting the heartbeat. And she tells the technician or the nurse, whoever it is, hold on just a minute, I want to record it. And she records the heartbeat so that he can hear it. And on the way out, she's letting him listen to it. And that just touched me. And
they were so happy she was talking to him during the whole thing.
They were. Yeah.
You got the impression that once she started talking to him, they stayed connected on the phone all day. That's all she did all day was talk to him.
Well, you know, you could even see her like, you know, ignoring her sister's calls and texts.
Yep. Yeah, she was just
completely
in her
ignoring everyone. Yeah, that's all she was. She was so wrapped up in that. And then as she's making her way out of the clinic, she drops her phone. And she lost contact with them.
And freaked
you
out.
Could just, you could feel that pain. And she got a new phone and she was getting everything hopefully transferred over. And he calls and he's like, what happened? And it was so sweet. She's like, I dropped you. I dropped you.
Yeah, like she
like,
did something to him. He's like,
yeah.
He said to everybody, it didn't hurt. Like, I'm in the cloud. Like, you can't hurt me. Like, nothing's gonna happen. Like, I'm not there. I'm like up in the cloud. Like, but that's how she's feeling, like he's right there, and he has to keep reminding her, no, I'm not.
I'm not really with you.
Else. I'm not really with you.
He even says at one point, it's funny that I can talk to you because I don't even have a mouth.
Right. Yes. And that was something corny, like he would say, because
he would have said that.
Because they had in the chat. Yeah, when they showed the scenery and all he had to say about it was, it's mostly green. And she says, you never were in the scenery. You never liked, like, we go to places. You didn't care about looking at the scenery or checking out the views or anything like that. He was never about the views. It's mostly green. Yeah.
Right.
He's a funny, wise guy. He's very kind of charming.
He
weird
is.
Kind of humor.
Yes.
Well, unique to him. But
I have to say, he's an amazing actor. He really is.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And
he's quite charming.
Yes. So I'm going to kind of let Claire take over now because
So, do you want to?
this part is a little harder for me.
You want me to talk about what it's like? We'll do. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right.
Yeah.
So this is more what I'm comfortable with.
This.
I'm more comfortable with this because now we're getting into one of the things with Charlie Brooker that I've been fascinated with in several of his episodes. And that is when he just goes all virtual reality and he tries to take sentient and put it in inanimate and make me want to do this. Yes, Charlie, you make me think about this all the time and I want to do this. Like, I really want to do this now. I want to find out what that is like. But virtual reality is like right in the back of my mind a lot of the time where he's going with the technology. Because our progression towards it is getting there. Like,
it is getting there.
Like, and I'm like, this is not some fantasies he's talking about anymore. It's more about when. Not if anymore. It's more about when, as far as how I'm seeing things are changing in the world since Black Mirror came out. But anyway, the phone calls aren't going to be enough anymore. She's starting to really miss him. And they start talking about, I wish you were here. I wish you were here. She's pregnant. She's sick. She's lonely. She's got him on the phone. And he tells her, well, there's a way. It's expensive, but there's a way. The next thing you know, a huge box shows up. And there are pieces of a body that you got to put together. I can call it nothing but a body, but it's not real.
I know.
It's made of some
not real
material that this projection of him is going to be implanted on, and she's got to make a bath and put it in there, and he's he is, he's on the phone talking to her,
telling
about
her
the body
how to do
he's going to
it,
go into, telling her how to do it, walking, and they're doing it together. So that's probably the only way she could get in doing it, because she's touching these pieces and she knows they're not alive. She knows this is not reality. This is a dummy. Okay, this is not a live body. This is not anything that she's going to want to live with or be around. But him being
she even says it doesn't look like you. She even says it does not look like you. He's like, not yet. You have to activate it.
Yeah. But what really got me is how intrigued he was. He or it or the was very on the phone going, let me see it. Show me. I want to see it. And I'm like,
I want to see
wait a minute here. Is that just him acting like the guy? That is like where did they get that part of his personality from, that he would be curious about?
I know.
And I'm like, is he curious as the sentient, as the fake Ash?
Right.
The put together robotronic or cybernetic or whatever you want to call it, Ash. Because he's not the real Ash. He doesn't have organic personality. Let's put it that way.
He doesn't.
He's got manufactured response. That's the new Ash, is just manufactured response. It is just an accumulation of all of the things he ever said, put into syntaxes of possible answers for possible questions and scenarios. Period. It's programming. It's codex. It's not organic. It's not real personality.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's faking it. She wants it so bad that she's like faking it through. Like, you hear what you want to hear. It's just good enough. Almost good enough. Right.
And I can understand and appreciate that.
So good. She wants to put it into something that can walk around with her now and hold her hand and be in the room. So they go through the process of activating this body.
Yes.
Put it in the bathtub, whatever, gets all the goop off it, whatever, puts it together, then leaves it in there with the phone. She has to hang up with him because he needs to go in it now. And she's not supposed to go anywhere near it until it's ready.
Or turn on the light.
Or turn on the light.
It's like a gremlin. It's like the movie Gremlins.
Yeah, something bad happens. Thank God they didn't do anything like that and show us what happened.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to know.
I would have lost it. I would have lost it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do not want to know. But
I would have had to break up with Charlie.
Yeah. Well, I don't ever want to break up with Charlie, so I'm glad.
I don't either, but I would have had to.
Because this would be too traumatic at this stage in my life. We've been together so long.
I know. I have such a great relationship with him.
Yeah, because he can't piss me off. He can't mess up with the toothpaste. He doesn't worry about the toilet seat. I don't have to talk to him in the morning. I don't care how he takes his coffee because it's all in my head. It's all virtual reality. Period. That's where I want
the way I give it to him.
That's where I want to stay with Charlie. So don't do that.
I know.
Kim. Don't do that. Don't be putting Charlie anywhere else. Okay. So we get the body real, and now he's imprinted. The person, the manufactured personality of Ash is now imprinted onto the dummy robot thing. The body. Let's just So now we have Ash 2.0 comes out of that. Okay. What really struck me though is right before that is the cinematography for this particular episode is very dark. Everything about it is got the edge of gloom, because remember,
it does.
Regardless of anything, she's grieving.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter if he's there or he's not. The actual palpable visualization of the fog, and correct me if I'm speaking out of turn here, but the actual there but not there that you go through.
Right. No, it is
visually impacted the way they did the cinematography.
Yes.
You can literally see it rather.
You can.
And feel it in everything she does. When she's sitting at the kitchen waiting for that body to come out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And she's just rocking, and the room's getting a little darker. The corners, like you the room is lit, but you can't see in the corners.
No, you can't.
Yeah, the way
Even
she
all of the
dresses is
colors are
just
muted.
right. All the colors are muted. Everything she wears is comfortable, loose,
It is.
just something you
And
hug around
drab.
yourself, right? And
Kind of
drab.
everything's kind of beige.
They kind of made it the feeling just like you feel, like you're there, but you're not there. You want to be comfortable.
Exactly.
You're trying to get through every day. You're doing the best you can, but you are visibly, mentally, physically not 100%, and not
Right.
gonna be for a while, and it's perfectly normal. But the way did you find that? I mean, being in the
Oh,
experience
yeah.
yourself. I mean, could you see?
Yeah.
Like I saw it. I literally saw it and
Yeah.
felt it.
You
And
do. I mean,
I have to give them great credit for putting
yeah.
that there too, to
There are
enhance.
still just, there are just still literally days where, it's like, all I want is like my comfortable hoodie, a grilled cheese and tomato soup, and, things like that. Like last night, yesterday was a horrible day. Last night I ate brownies for dinner.
But
I made
you know what?
brownies and I
Everyone
ate
should
brownie
treat
for dinner.
themselves. You should do that once in a while. Why
Yes.
not? Like, why not? Life's too
So
short. You want brownies for
exactly.
dinner? You're a full grown adult. You know you could eat
Yeah.
vegetables the next day. Have the brownies
I
for dinner. What's
and
wrong
I
with that?
did.
Yeah,
I
there's
did.
nothing wrong with that. And you
And they were
probably felt better.
wonderful.
Yeah,
I
and they
did
were.
feel a little better, yes.
Mhm. Mhm. I always say whatever gets you through it, as long as you're getting through it and you're not hurting anybody
Yeah.
else in the process or yourself, do it. If it's a brownie, it's a brownie.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
whatever it is
Or,
at that moment. But I'm glad that
half a
I know it
pan.
was tough. Yeah.
Yeah, half a pan of brownies actually.
Well, it was dinner. It's not like it was just dessert.
It was
You had
dinner.
to fill up. It was dinner. I mean, come on, give yourself a break. It was
was.
dinner. You could eat half a pan. It's okay. It's okay.
I
It's like,
know. It was.
what's the difference if you ate half a pizza or you ate a full-size meal? I mean, it's the
Right?
same.
Same thing. Same thing.
It is. I
Yes.
would give myself a break. So now,
Yes.
okay, we're at the part where the body comes down the stairs. And,
Yes.
she's been waiting. She's been waiting. She thinks it's going to be the best thing ever.
Oh,
She
yeah.
takes one look at that body and she
She's
doesn't know what to
like,
do. She's just
no, she
like, but
doesn't.
you know what? That can't be you, because this
She's
is
just
all of a
frozen.
sudden she freezes because she's like, this is impossible. So this can't be. She can't sit next to him. She's like away from him. She can't touch him. She's just like looking. And here she is. She created this thing. She wanted it.
Yes. And now she doesn't know what to do with it.
He's still talking like himself, but now he looks like himself. Every wrinkle, every dimple, every freckle, every mole.
Yes.
Every misplaced hair.
He didn't even have a mole on his chest where Ash had one. And when she mentioned it, he created one.
Because he remembered, like, because they saw the visualization of it in a picture.
That would have freaked me out.
Mm-hmm. She watched it grow. I think I would have been from the room. Yeah, it was little. Yeah, as fascinated as I am, I think I might have lost it if I saw that. But anyway.
Yeah, I think so too.
So she does get to the point where she can actually interact and touch him and this and that. And she finally touches him in the kitchen. She gives him a big kiss. He doesn't really she's touching him and he feels like himself, but he doesn't. Like, they can't make it perfect. So they touch fingers.
It's still very awkward.
Yeah. And he tells her what parts will be more sensitive than others, what parts work and things like that. And then, they get into the personal issues of the problem with building robots that are based on memories or public interactions, because their intimate life was not documented in either cell phone. Let's just say that. So
it's like he said, that's not something I shared.
Right. She has a fully functioning husband that doesn't know how to work it, but it works. But
it works. He can turn it off and on. It will.
Right. But he's not exactly sure on how they both went about this. even though they've been together all these times. So it's like Brandy knew. Well, she actually, she went for it. She was fascinated. I was proud of her. She was just like,
she
oh,
was.
Yeah? And when he goes, this is the best line. I can turn it off and on at will. Anytime.
Yeah.
And she went.
That was like perfect.
She puts her hand there and goes, oh, really?
I know.
Like,
oh, really?
Let's test that right now. Like, it was just like, it's been a while. I was like, and you could see the look on her face that I was just like, okay, not to make, light of it or anything, but when, you're grieving and everything and you think none of that's ever going to happen again. And all of a sudden there it is right there. Oh, wow. Like, okay, here we go. And apparently it was better than ever because he never had to stop. Because he never had to stop. Let's put it that way. She was
always satisfied.
Oh yeah, she put him through the paces. Let's just say that. Yeah, we'll skip over that. Go watch it. It was entertaining. It was
entertaining.
It was classic soft porn from the female perspective because he got nothing. He got nothing out of it. It was just, he worked himself to death. It was all her. 24/7. Yeah, it was just like it was something else. But the thought process of it that this sentient being that because it wasn't in the cell phone, he doesn't know how to do it. So I don't know. So I'm gonna have to work on my cell phone videos for the future, just in case. I knew you'd like that. I knew I could get you laughing if I said that.
You did. Yeah. Thank you. I needed that.
Good. I know, because you people, I'm not really going to do that, right? I'm just like, chill out.
But now I've got like imaging in my head. I'll never get out.
I'm really, really not that far gone, okay? I was just trying to make my co-host laugh a little there. Okay. So, all right. So now, so we're in this, like, this new part of the relationship and everything like that. But now, just like everything, you get so damn happy with your partner. You know how you get to that point where it doesn't really matter how much you love them, how great you get along. There's always something. There's always something. Always. It's the way they breathe. Or in that one episode, it's the way they drink a damn glass of water. Or,
oh my gosh.
Or
I would have heard him.
Or the way they shut a door or chew their
something
food or put their fork down. It's some stupid little thing that just starts giving you a tick,
Yes.
So, but for her, she had so many because
she did. It was like every little thing.
This body is like a robot. Let's just say robot, even though it's not a robot. It is like more than a robot, but
it is
robotic. It does not eat. It does not sleep. It doesn't drink.
No.
It doesn't breathe unless it just acts like it breathes. Okay. So she's noticing now they have sex. It just rolls over. It has its eyes open. It stares up at the ceiling for the rest of the night.
Yes.
And she's going to sleep. And she's like, can you fake going to sleep?
Can you fake breathing?
It? Like, you're just driving me crazy. And even the fake breathing pisses her off. So she throws him out of the house, but he can't leave all the way, right? Do you want to go from here? Are you okay with this part? Or
I'm good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can only go so far away from either his activation zone or from her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can go further from the activation zone as long as his administrator is with him. Mm-hmm. And she's like, who's your administrator? And he's like, you are. And she's like, don't call me that. He's like, I think it's kind of cute.
He said, I think it's kind of hot, is what he said.
Yeah, that was it.
He's like, that was it, because it was funny for him. Like, it was funny.
It was funny.
Kind of hot. Yeah.
But anyway, I wouldn't want to be his administrator either.
No, you don't want to be like, you want to be a partner. You want to be a lover. You want to be a wife. You don't want to be the administrator of the program. Like, what?
And then it really got me when he said, can I come back inside? I'm feeling rather ornamental. And I could just almost picture him out there with like some yard gnomes around him.
But the way he was standing there and he said it, it was like so perfect to the personality of the live Ash
It
that she just had
was.
to let him. She let him back in the house.
She
As
let him back in the
frustrating,
house.
yeah, it was.
But then
And then
he kind of kept, upsetting her. She's like, come on, we're going to go for a ride. And she takes him up to a point where they had gone as a couple, and he told her it was a lover's leap.
And he told her about how many people had jumped off of there.
Yes.
And stories about it. Because don't forget, like, he's connected to the cloud all the time. So, like,
right. So he had
Google
those
when
memories.
he blinks his eyes or whatever.
He does have Google. He's got like the Google eyes.
He's got Google eye. He just blinks his eye and he knows, like, so.
He does. He can just pull that information right up.
Yep, right
and she is at the point of she thinks that she wants him gone out of her life.
Because she's noticed that it's become such a big thing now. All those little things we were talking about he can't do. Remind her constantly that she is living a fake life. This is not him. It can never be him. She's pregnant. She's alone. The thought that she's with something that's faking to be him, she's like yelling at him all the time, like, you're just not enough. You're not enough like him. It's worse because you are not enough like him.
Yeah,
you're a fake. You're a fraud. Yeah.
Yeah, on the cliff, she's really yelling at him about that. And she even tells him, you don't have the full essence of him. And I guess this is probably the other little Easter egg that I kind of caught, where she said, you don't have the whole history of him.
And that just mentions the history of you, the whole other episode.
The entire history of you. Yeah.
Right.
So they did link back to that again. And it's true, because he did not. I mean, that was the thing, is that with this, and this was something that really kind of resonated with me, was that the replica doesn't have continuity of lifetime from birth until present.
Nope.
It only had what was uploaded.
Right.
That, it's like our body is just a vessel. Our thoughts, our emotions, our memories. It's that continuity of our timeline from the time we're born until our present time and on then into our future. That anything artificial intelligence, they'll never be able to replicate all of that. So they'll never be able to duplicate that continued essence of a person.
No, that's so true. And Krabby is saying that, like when he picked up that photo of him in the cottage and with the fake smile, and the replica said, it's so fake. And she screamed at him to put the photo down. Like, don't even say that. Like the word fake. And that's the word I've been searching. Thank you, Krabby. The replica. That's what we got to call this body thing. The replica.
Yes. The replica. It is a replica.
That's it. I was searching for that word the whole time. So they're on the cliff, and this gets really emotional. On the cliff. Here. Yeah.
It does. And she tells him to jump. And he says, okay. And he starts walking towards the edge. And she's like, no, Ash wouldn't do that. Ash would be scared. Ash would fight back. He would cry. He would be emotional. And you can see him working up tears and begging her.
Yeah, because
don't make me do it.
At first he didn't, right? Until she reminded him, you're not even acting like him right now. And this is what Kiki says. That's the one thing I definitely know my husband wouldn't do. We've been to Lovers Leaps enough that I'd know his answer. And she did too, because they had also been there.
She did.
And she knew that he would have been emotional. He would have been crying, that his love
he would have been scared.
No way he would have ever walked to the edge like that. The way
he wouldn't have even thought of it.
Here's the thing. This replica has such a desire to be anything he can, to be Ash, to be what his administrator wants him to be, to please her, that as soon as she mentions that he's not emotional enough, He goes into like drama acting 101, like I'd never seen. He had me bawling. He was so emotional, crying, right? I don't want to die. Please don't make me do it. Oh my God, I want to stay here with you. Like, really pulled it all out.
And
Were you crying? I was crying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was
Oh,
crying.
I was. You know me.
Mhm.
You know me. And I think honestly, that was what really got her, and that was what got me, was when he said, I don't want to die. And I think that was when she had the realization, if she went ahead and forced him off that cliff, he would be dying all over again.
Yes, the way he was acting, and she was like, "This isn't fair. You're doing this to me. This isn't fair." And then it really cuts right there at the cliff. Like, they don't tell us how they worked it out.
No,
they don't even walk away from the cliff together. They just cut the scene right there. The next thing we know, boom, is we're going to their little girl's birthday party. It's the mom.
The little girl's probably about 9, 10.
9 or
about 9 or 10.
Old, right?
Yeah.
They're having a birthday, cutting pieces of cake, and all of a sudden she says, "But we need another piece of cake. Like, there's somebody missing.
I need another piece."
Yeah. And they said, "But
and the mother says, "But it's not the weekend." She's like, "But it is my birthday."
So she gives her the piece of cake. And then they pull down the attic stairs, and they go up in the attic. She goes up in the attic with the 2 pieces of cake to see who's in there. Ash. This woman can't live with him, but she can't kill him because she created him, because she'd be killing her husband all over again. So she put him, that does not eat or breathe or need anything, in the attic.
Just like his mother did with all
the pictures and the memories when he died.
With his brother's pictures and with his mom's pictures. She hid them up in the attic. And that's what she did with Ash.
With all of the past. All of the past is up there. Ash is up there. And she has given her daughter, though, her father on occasion. The daughter knows her father. She knows Ash. She has another presence in her life. She's given that to them, but she has no relationship.
We also never know what she's told her daughter about.
No, we don't know if she's, because she calls him Ash. She doesn't say.
She does.
She says, "Hi, Ash," and then she tells Ash, "I know you don't eat. I just used it as an excuse to get the second piece of cake."
Yeah.
So, she knows he doesn't eat food, which was really quite, it was, that part really got me. That ending,
it did.
Got me. And then we see how hard it is for Martha to walk up those attic stairs, to be up there with him. You can tell she does not want to lay eyes on the replica anymore.
She doesn't want interaction with him anymore.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
And she does it for her daughter. She's doing it for her daughter, which I thought was quite quaint, because, now we get to the part where we get to decide. It took us this time to just tell you about the episode, but now we get to the question. What is Charlie telling us about society with this, on what we want and whether we should have it or not? Is it really a good idea to put ourselves through that? I mean, there were quite a few issues that she faced.
There were, and if you had asked me that before I ever saw the episode, and it's very ironic for me, and I noticed it today when I was looking at the date that this first aired on BBC Network. It aired on February 11th of 2013. And that's exactly 6 months and 2 days before my husband passed away.
Okay.
So it was very time in there.
Yeah, it was like, it was before.
Yeah, because mine was August 13th, 2013.
Okay.
But if you had asked me that before I lost him, I would have said yes. I would have done anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. I would have sold off everything I had in order
And you
to
would have
have.
the replica just to have even though you
Yes.
knew it wasn't 100%, just to have a part
Yes.
of him. Yeah.
Just so that I could feel those arms around me again, so I could feel that
Mm-hmm.
presence again. I would have done it. But since watching the episode, no,
No.
I wouldn't.
And
Because
all right. And then was that like this time or like some of the other time you watched it, like the episode this time
um
when you watched it?
no, it was kind of from the first time.
Okay.
I would be willing to do the first step. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know at that time I would
Yeah.
want to do the voice calls
Mm-hmm.
because again, you don't have that continuity, and she was still in too many gaps.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might do just the messaging because that would just be a little easier. I think so.
Okay.
If I could do that,
Yeah.
I still probably
Because
would.
right. So it's kind of like they're talking to you, but it's just like maybe it's like a memory or it's just a reassurance or anything. It's not so
Right?
invasive into your life,
It's
and you.
not.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that part, and
Yeah.
I
I mean,
to
yeah.
me,
It's
I'm
like it's
still on the fence, like a
yeah.
little
I
bit.
mean, as much as I would love to hear that voice again, and love to have him say, "I love you" one more time,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it would be worth it
Right,
to
because like,
have the
are
other
you going?
problems.
Is that one time gonna like lead a couple years later into like one more other time, or you know what I mean, or
Right.
like when is it that you're ready to for it to be the last time? We are never, ever ready for it to be the last time.
No, we're
There's no way.
never.
So
No.
like there's always going to be that desire to have just that one more. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like it'd be
Oh,
hard.
there
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
times now with the girls, with my granddaughters, that like coming back from the oldest cheer competition, I was like, oh, I wish I could tell Ted how good
right.
she looked. And
Hmm.
yeah, and knowing that I can't.
Hmm.
And
That's
that's
hard.
hard.
As you because you have grandchildren and you want to talk to them
Yes.
all the time. You want to tell them about things that your daughter's doing or your family's
Mhm.
doing. I get that. It's never. That's why they say it gets somewhat better, but it never goes away. It's never going to go away because you're always going to have those ties and that desire to
Oh
share
yeah.
because you're partners. I mean, that's how partners operate. Kiki says we shouldn't have this technology in my opinion. That's why I'm hesitant to buy VR technology because it'll just get more real and I don't want to let my kids get wrapped up in it. I understand. I understand it, especially
I
with
do
kids when
too.
it's getting up there. I do. I, on the other hand, have a huge fantasy about it. I will admit it's a fantasy. I'm not out there buying the stuff. I'm not even practicing. And it was a joke about the videos before, I swear. It, it's not, I'm not like that crazy about it. But it is a fun, entertaining thought about what would it be like if I was not trapped in the body that I have and I could be
Right.
myself in any other body I wanted.
Oh yeah, and VR there.
Yeah. That
So
when we
there.
watched Striking Vipers and they did that,
Yes.
when we watched Sam Juniper and I could be 25-year-old me when I die for the
Right?
rest of my life in my fantasy environment, in my best body ever, damn, yes, I would want to do that. Like sign me up for the
Yeah.
afterworld if there
Now
is one. If it's like that. If it's not, forget it. Like I don't want to go. But I'll just go
if
like
we had
into the
had the
dust like
same
I'm supposed
gener-
to, but still.
yeah, if we
Yeah.
had the same technology
Oh, wait.
and I
You
knew
mhm. You just
and I
roboted
knew
out like pretty.
did
Yeah.
I really? Is it better?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
checking now. Right now it is. I don't know why it does that. It
Okay.
robot just a little bit and then,
It's so
yes, I
weird.
hear Mrs. Cassandra. I'm trying to figure. A lot of times it's the mic or as we get going, power on the battery or something. I'm not sure because it was really clear before and it's just
Yeah.
starting now. Um, Rodent says, in grief, what we want
And I just lost Claire. Okay, I don't know what's going on. If y'all can hear me, I just lost Claire. She just dropped off the stream. So I don't know what's going on. I did send her a message, but I couldn't hear anything that she was saying. So I don't know where she got to or anything. I do know that she is having some bad weather. She's having what hit us on the coast a few days ago, and it was really bad. Yeah, I'm sure that she's going to rejoin Krabby. I'll kind of go on. One thing I thought about, and this was kind of really bizarre, and I really wish Claire was here because I know she would have just the right thing to say. What if you ordered the replica and the shipping labels got mixed up and you got someone else? What are you going to do? Take him down to UPS and say you need to ship him back? I mean, that was just something I kind of, when I'm in that state of mind, I think really weird stuff, people. So, but I think a lot of this did talk about like how we deal with our grief. And I think in a lot of ways that she was almost stalled in her grief process when she went to the replica. I think her grief process just kind of stopped at that point. And I think that may be why she was still having such an issue after she had her daughter and why Ash is up in the attic. So that's just kind of my thoughts. I don't know what y'all think about it, but thank you, Miss Cassandra. I'm trying. She doesn't come back. I guess we'll just have to kind of end this without her. You can hear me okay? Or not? Yeah, Carrie, I thank you for agreeing with me. I definitely, that was something that just kind of kept going through my mind the whole time, was that's just all part of the grieving process. There's basically 5 steps that we have to go through to get through it. And, there's no set time limit on how we go through it. In fact, just a few months ago, I got really down about the loss of my husband. Hi, Claire.
Hi, there's a terrible windstorm here, and it knocked my internet out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so like it just took a few minutes for it to come back up, but that was weird because I lost you.
I know.
And then boom. Bam.
Yeah, I just couldn't hear you at all, but I could still see that you were there.
No, I wasn't really here. I got blown away.
You weren't really here.
Away.
You were like like Ash. You were there, but not there.
I was there. I was a replica. It was, and you all got to enjoy a few moments of bare silence. That is so damn rare.
And I started talking.
Rare.
I sent you a message that I lost you, and I just kind of started talking. So, in fact, one thing I brought up, and I told them, I said, I wish you were here because you would appreciate this. So when she gets the replica, what if the shipping labels got mixed up, Claire?
What if her what? The shipping labels?
What if the shipping? Yeah. And she got someone else.
No, but you see, the body takes on the whatever was in the phone. Like you have to map it. So it's like they're all the
You
same.
think so? I
They
don't
better
know.
be. I'm just
I
telling
don't
Charlie right
know.
now. They better be because
Because
that's
I,
freaky. Don't even
I,
do that. Like,
I,
don't
I
even
actually
do that.
I thought about that this afternoon, and I was picturing going down to UPS and going, I need to return this.
I know.
But you know,
And that's why, is
my
that why
mind
they're
works
saying things
weird.
like that's weird and awful at the same time?
Yes,
And that's
yes,
not going to work. And I can
yes,
see now. Okay, so that's what all these are about. And then don't
yes.
worry, Krabby. That's right. The stream can't end without me. And then I would
That's
have to
true.
get my phone, get in my car, and go find some
Yeah,
internet to log into
because
StreamYards to get rid of everybody.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
it
I
would
couldn't
be
have even
interesting.
ended the
Yeah,
stream.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to go around the neighborhood and see who was still up. But
Yeah.
since it's a windstorm, I might have to drive a little ways.
You might
So
have to.
it would have been interesting. I might just like
Yeah.
let it rip, let it run on empty
Right.
until it. Who knows? I mean, like
Then I
marathon.
started
Maybe I
talking.
could have gotten Guinness Book of
Right.
Records or something. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah,
But
go
then
ahead.
I started talking about how I felt like when she got the replica, her
Mm-hmm.
grieving process just halted. It just stopped at that point. And I
Right.
think that's why she had such a hard time processing with the replica there, and why she
Mm-hmm.
eventually put it up in the attic, and why
Right.
she couldn't go up there. She never fully got to go through that grieving process
This is true.
that
You
is
know what? I
so
was thinking that
important to do.
because the way she hesitated to go up those stairs and the way she had
It was
not an
like,
absolute happy effect about her.
no,
Even
it was
when
like,
cutting the cake for her daughter, there was like going through the motions thing. It was like she's
yeah.
still in the process, and we could understand that because
Oh,
it's going to
yeah.
be much more difficult for her with part of
Yeah.
him still around all the time.
Yeah. It
You
was
know.
like I was just getting ready to tell them a few months ago. I realized that I was still going through the grieving process, and I
Mm-hmm.
had gone back and contacted my grief counselor, and I also contacted psych a psychologist, and we've been talking about it and working on it because I am, almost getting close to a 9-year mark, and a lot of times the books and literature you read say 4 to 5 years. Well, that's a big fat lie.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I was also coming up on the 35th anniversary of our engagement, which was back in February. And so that had me a little down. And
Mm-hmm.
Claire knows all about this. We've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Did I just lose? No, I didn't lose you again.
No, I'm here.
And
I'm here
okay.
listening.
And
Yes.
um I was extremely down, and
Mm-hmm.
the grief counselor actually told me that I had just entered into the depression stage. So 8.5 years later, I had just entered into that stage. So there's no time limits or anything about this. It can
Mm-hmm.
go on forever. It just depends on how you work through it. And, there's not even special orders that you go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't even gone back and looked and seen if this is the last one or not. But
Well, that's
I don't want to go through this again.
no. Then you. Mm, we don't know, right? You just gotta take it, as it comes. I mean, I always think to myself, like, is that the last of anything? And we just don't know. We just
Right.
don't
We don't
know.
know.
We don't.
But
You just have to be a little open, as painful as it is,
yes.
and as scary as it is, and as we don't know what's going to happen, but we do know that there is often pain, which comes with pleasure.
Yes.
We know there's often disappointment that comes with happiness.
Mhm.
We know the yin and the yang of life when you get to a certain age.
Right.
So we may
You
hesitate
do.
just a little more. You start to measure things a little differently.
You do
But
start to.
I always find that the highs are so worth it. The
Oh, they
lows.
are.
And
They are.
I don't ever want to stop feeling like that. I am one of those, like, I'm a feeler. Is that what they got? Like, mm,
Yes.
I'm an emotional
Yes.
roller coaster. I'm a hot mess half the time, but I wouldn't trade it for anything because the connections that I make with people and the relationships that I get to have, that it's damn well worth it when you get to
Oh
put
yeah.
yourself out there in that way. So,
And
we
and
we
just
all have
the
to measure it out, you know.
we do. And just the emotions from the memories, those are
Mm-hmm.
so wonderful for me now. In fact, when we were at the my granddaughter's cheer competition, Hillary and I were actually joking that day that her dad would have been there front
Mm-hmm.
and center
He
with
would have. Mm-hmm.
a cheer t-shirt on that says pop pop or cheer pop pop, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what we were going to have the girls call him,
Mm-hmm.
with pop
Mm-hmm.
pop. And he would have, and I said, Hillary, he wouldn't have had just one. He would have
Mm-hmm.
had one for every day of the week.
Yeah.
And he would have had one that said volleyball pop pop and soccer pop pop. And
Right.
he
Right.
would
And
have
all
had one for
different. Yeah.
everything they did. And he would
That's
have
pretty
been
cool.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And, it
No.
was something that she and I were able to share in a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful way
Yeah.
that made
Kim,
us both very happy.
that's very cool. Kim said, Mrs. Cassandra said you did great while I was going. By the way,
Thank you,
and
Mrs.
and
Cassandra.
and and Krabby, love. You're right. Each of us handles us in a different way.
We
Absolutely,
do.
and amazing. And Paula says that she was widowed at 30, and again last January at 51. And
Oh,
the
Paula, I'm
grief
so
never
sorry.
ends, and the triggers are many. And we totally understand it.
Yes.
We are sorry, Paula, but you're not alone. There's many
No.
of us in the same situation. Kim being one.
Yes. And if
Rodent
anyone
says,
ever needs to talk, my
yeah.
DMs are open all the time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy to talk with you.
Right. It was a hard episode, and I'm glad to see you all
It
being
was.
open and sharing together because that's how we get through things, by being open with others and sharing and knowing that you're really not alone. There's always
Yeah.
someone not going through exactly the same thing, but similar enough
But
that you can
very
bond on a
similar.
level and understand some of what each other are going through. Rodent said that grief
Exactly.
never goes away. You only just process it differently over time. This is true. It
It
changes,
is
it
true.
grows, it's fluid, but
It
it's never
is.
gone. It's never gone because the
No.
person is gone. The situation doesn't change. Um,
No.
Crappy says that she bottoms out every January and February because she lost her two favorite people in January, and they were both born in February. One was 44 years ago, and hubby was 15. When people mean that, I understand
Yeah.
that. Much, she
Yeah.
said, when people mean that, much the pain may dull a bit, but it never goes away. And
It
I
doesn't.
understand that, And
Yeah. It doesn't.
yeah, every
It's
loss
always there.
yeah. Every loss I experience in life brings me back to the very moment I heard, "Sorry, Paula, but there's nothing else we can do." I'm so sorry that it brings you
Yeah.
back there every time, but I understand why it does because that's the place. Like I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it.
Yeah. That's like
All
that
that have
with her,
lost
the
their
door.
this is a lovely sentiment from Tammy. All that have lost their significant others, I wrap you in a giant hug and send all my love. Thank you for
Oh,
those hugs.
Tammy, thank you.
Okay.
Thank
hmm
you. That does
I'm so,
mean a
yeah.
lot.
We're sorry that you're broken, Paula, but you're definitely not alone.
No.
There's so many people
No.
that feel the same. And on that, I am sorry for such a hard episode, but on the end of it, just to know that um, it is a long process. It's never ending, but there is joy. Just in the fact, one thing that I learned here today is that in going through the grief process, Kim was strong enough to give her children a good sense of presence of what their dad would be doing at any given moment, that they are actually open to talking about it right in front of her at any given time
Yes.
on what he would be doing and saying. And that's a beautiful
And we
thing.
do.
That means
Yeah.
you all shared together the relationship, the love, you have strength and respect for each other enough, and the trust in each other that you can be that open to share when you're missing someone like that, you don't have to worry. And it's a testament to you, Kim. That's a big strength, and you should be very proud of that. And I'm sure your children benefited greatly from that. So you can
Thank
tell,
you.
and your grandchildren are still benefiting from it. Believe it or
Oh,
not,
yes,
they have that presence, even though he's not there. They know about him, and that's
they
a beautiful
do.
thing. That's a
Yes,
beautiful thing.
yes. In
Of
fact,
course.
for the girls, because my
Mm-hmm,
son-in-law lost his father a few years before I lost my husband, and so
mm-hmm,
the girls really have never known either
mm-hmm,
grandfather. Abby was
mm-hmm,
uh, a, not quite a year and a half old when we lost my husband. And
mm-hmm,
when my daughter and my son-in-law would go to work, my husband was my granddaughter's caretaker. He
mm-hmm.
took care of
Okay.
her. And,
Right.
he that's how we got the nickname Angel Face for her. So if you
Right.
ever read my blog or anything, I always
Yep.
refer to her as Angel Face.
Yeah.
And the other
Which
one is
is linked
Coco.
below. Right.
Yes.
Irrelevantly relevant. Linked below.
Yes.
Coco is the younger one, correct?
Coco's the younger one, the
Mm-hmm.
stinker.
Yeah, the
And
stinker.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have adored her because of
Yeah.
her spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, unfortunately, Krabby has to remind us that the moral is do not buy a replica. Don't do it.
do not
Okay.
buy a replica.
Right.
No, I don't want a
And
replica Krabby.
Rodin says that what helps him is to think of how he wants other people to react to his own death, and that can you to make sure that you're laying the foundation
Uh-huh.
for them, the strength and the courage that they're going to need afterwards. We can do
Right.
that. Someday I'll tell you the story of my stepbrother who literally the last year of his life, knowing he was going to die, made sure that every single one of us were going to be
Mm-hmm.
okay on the day that it
Yeah.
happened, that we knew everything
Yeah.
he wanted, that we resolved any issues we had, and we got all time with him. And it was the most painful year, but the most
Mm-hmm.
beautiful year that that we could have spent as a family. And
Yeah.
I give him a lot of credit. He did that. He did that for us because he was young. He was like not even 40, and he
Uh-huh.
had metastatic cancer. And he knew it was in his brain. He
Oh,
knew he was going to go, and there wasn't anything they could do. And he had to live with that. And he had to tell his
right.
parents that, and his siblings that, and his wife. Um,
Yeah.
and yet he had the courage enough to make sure every single person was going to be okay. And
Uh-huh.
I give him great credit. That
And
just
that's a
says
lot.
who he was. That's his ways.
It
And he
does.
wasn't always like that. He was not that kind of person his whole life. Let me tell you that. This is a development. My brother was a pain in the ass when he was young. I can say that. I'm not being rude. I'm telling you the truth. I always tell
Right.
the truth. He was one of the worst of all my brothers. He was one of the worst that turned out to be one of the best. And not just because of
Yeah.
like that. Just the way he approached people, he gave me a gift of how to look at something totally
Right.
different in that situation.
That's
And I'll be
that does
grateful for
say
it for the rest of my life
yeah.
because it
It
changed me. It definitely
yeah.
changed me.
And it
Yeah,
does say a lot about his character and what
it
he
did.
wanted to leave as his
Hmm.
legacy. And
Yes,
that's
he changed.
something
He
that
turned it all
lately,
around. Hmm.
yeah, that's something that lately I've been thinking a lot about is what what do I want to leave for my children and my grandchildren? What legacy do I want to leave them?
Hmm. No, yeah, it does. It does. It opens up the dialogue for wonderful
It
thought
does.
process. Get you thinking about it. Get you talking about it with your
Yes.
family. Brilliant says this is a great and difficult discussion. Much love to all of you who have lost your loved ones. And yes, I totally I feel the same for everyone here who has lost someone. I feel for you and reach out to each other. And Paula says, can I reach
Yeah.
out to you guys? Absolutely. For you and the kids,
Yes.
my DMs and Kim's DMs are open all the time. We tell
Yes.
everyone.
All the
Kiki,
time.
don't worry about not knowing who Kim is because Kim has a different handle on
I
it's
do.
always createful in the chat. And I think it is
Yes.
Kim B or it could be always createful over on Twitter. I don't know. I don't pay attention to handles
I did change
much
it on
over there.
Twitter. Yeah, I
Okay.
did change it on Twitter. Right now
Mhm.
on Twitter, it is Kim's voice.
Okay, so is that her
Yes.
Twitter is linked below, and also her blog
Mm-hmm.
um, at internet address is down below for irrelevantly relevant. Kim is also the one who wrote many of the Enough is Enough speeches blogs that I read. She
Yes.
read we read Magnolias for her. We read
Yes.
quite a few of them.
Thank y'all again so much for that
Yeah.
one.
That was beautiful, and we gotta thank our friend in the chat who helped make that a wonderful visual for us.
Yeah.
It
I'm
was
working on one for Father's Day right now.
That sounds lovely. I mean, her
Yeah, I'm
blog is
already working
amazing.
on one.
She writes from the heart, and you often feel exactly what she's talking about, which is what made those pieces that we did for my other series quite moving. And because they just bonded with so many people, you were just hit the vein of the situation, so to speak, at the time. And I think on that, we're just about
thank you,
20 minutes
Claire.
past the hour. How you feeling? You okay? I don't think we went through a whole
Yes.
box. I don't think we went through a whole box of
No,
tissues. I think we
I
did
went
okay.
through about I went through about half a tissue. So I did okay.
Only half a tissue? You did fit.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's a
No.
fantastic. You know what, girl? Eat the other half of the pan of brownies, man. That's a reward. Eat the other half. Eat the other half. You should be celebrating because
Yeah, I think I got it all out of my system earlier today. So
I just think that's forward moving, Kim. It's not easy to come out here.
it is.
Number one. Number two, to keep a conversation going while the stream owner vanishes on you like completely, and you don't know what's going to happen. And the chat said that you did great, and you kept it going. And you like, I'm proud of you, Kim. On all levels.
And I'm naturally a big old crybaby anyway. I will cry reading a box of cereal. Honestly. That's how much of a crybaby I am.
I must be getting cold. I haven't done that in a few years.
No, I'm just a big old crybaby. I cry over everything.
I've cried over other things. I assure you, I cry all the time. I cry if I get mad. I cry if I'm frustrated.
I cry if I get mad.
I cry if somebody else cries. Like
I do too.
But it's short. I'll cry, and then like 5 minutes later, I'm laughing my head off.
That's me a lot. Yeah.
I can't stay that way. I don't ever stay that way. I don't live in it. So I got
I'll be driving in my car and just all of a sudden, just for no reason, just break into tears.
Look at this pedant. Listen, damn it, Jay's always coming in at the end to ruin my Jay, this is a hijacking. This is Cassandra mods. This is what this is what we have to prevent. This is stream hijacking right here. She cries when I say coffee is nasty. No, you cry when you remember
you cry
debate.
You cry when you lose a debate, Jay.
Yeah, I got her here with me. You better stop. We love you too, Jay. You pain.
Yeah, but Jay, bring on the next debate. I'm ready for you.
Yeah, but
come on.
You heard her say she, right? Because I don't like to debate. I don't like to take advantage of people that way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that to you again, Jay. I'll let
I know
him take care of this one.
I would debate Jay.
I know, Mrs. Cassandra. He's blue. I have to do something about that. He's hijacking the streams. As much as we love him, coming in.
If Claire would moderate, if Claire would moderate a debate, I would debate Jay.
Wait a minute. Come on, somebody in the chat speak up. The thought of me moderating a debate, me who cannot shut up no matter what, and I'm supposed to moderate? How is that supposed to work, Kim? That's not going to work. Jay, speak up. This is not a good idea. Don't let Chris talk you into that, because I'm telling you right here in front of YouTube, I'm telling everybody, that's a bad idea. I can't moderate, okay? I'm biased as hell, and I can't shut up. Those are two things you can't be as a moderator.
And you would honestly want to jump in there.
I would.
You couldn't help. Couldn't help but wanting to jump in.
And he would be saying, but she said, oh, no, that's not what she said. This is what she said.
You misunderstood her. This is what she really meant.
No, she really meant this because, like, no. See, it would be such a bad job. I am not either. Mrs. Cassandra, stop it. Stop it. There are rumors everywhere. Stop.
But we would have to use Robert's Rules of Order and proper debate procedures.
Okay, I do know both of those things. I just am incapable of moderating. I have a very good sense of what my skill levels are everywhere, and I'm telling you,
and that's not one of them.
Not one of them. I can't keep my mouth shut. There's no way. I couldn't do it. I just I just couldn't do it. And on that, admitted failure. I'm going to thank you so much, Kim. I give you a lot of credit.
Thank you, Claire,
for everything.
And thank you to all of the chats.
And everybody in the chat who hung out and stayed with us to a very emotional episode. We don't know what we're doing next Sunday, but we are doing. We don't actually. We may be doing the Waldo effect. We may.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure. We may be doing a triple. We may have. And if that case, then it would be somebody else, and it may even be on a different day. But we will keep you informed as soon as we know. But we're going to try to be next Sunday at 9. On that, I'm going to say good night. For the rest of you, I'll see you tomorrow, Murder Minions, at 10 o'clock on Monday. Night. Yay. All right. Thanks so much, Kim.
Bye, everyone.
A good one. And I love this. Where is it? Okay. Gosh, you log in and everything disappears. Here we go. I know. It's just terrible. All right. Here we go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.